Hare Krishna. Learn to use the mind's laziness in Krishna's service. The mind is often an obstacle on our spiritual path, on our spiritual growth. And one of the ways in which it is an obstacle is that it is lazy. It avoids challenging things. It always chooses the path of least resistance. Interestingly, we can use this tendency of the mind to choose the path of least resistance for serving Krishna, for making healthy choices. How is that? Consider, say, if we go to a hotel where there is some delicacy available. It's a expensive delicacy, it's a fatty delicacy, but it's delicious. And we go there. If we're just passing by that hotel and the thought comes, maybe I can go and eat this. And then we look and the hotel is practically empty. Yeah, if I just go there, it says, in just a minute I'll get the order, I can eat it, and I can just have a packed thing to carry with me also, and I can eat in the car when I'm going. Well, we may think like that. And even before we think, we'll find ourselves entering, ordering, and we'll eat. Hey, I decided not to eat this. What happened? But on the other hand, if we are, say, passing by the same hotel and we see that it's very crowded, and there is it will take us at least half an hour to 45 minutes just to stand in the queue to get that food, then the mind will say, forget it, it's not worth it. So in general, if there is some temptation which allures us, and if that temptation is easily available, the path of least resistance for the mind is, as soon as the desire comes, indulge in it. On the other hand, if the temptation is not easy to obtain, then the path of least resistance is just forget it. So either way, the laziness of the mind can make us indulge, or the laziness of the mind can also make us give it up. Let's forget the indulgence. Now, of course, this doesn't always work. If we contemplate too much on the desire, then the desire will grow and will become so forceful that no matter what the price, we will succumb, we will indulge in it. So ultimately we do need our intelligence, we need our willpower, we need our determination to stick to our principles. All that is required. But at the same time, the casual desire, the stray desire that comes in the mind, we indulge in it if the indulgence is easily available. And if the indulgence is not easily available, the casual desire comes and the mind says, hey, getting this is too much trouble. Let's forget it. And in that way, we can resist the temptation. So actually, this creating making the indulgence difficult, creating some obstacles between us and the indulgence, that is a way in which we can use the mind's tendency to choose the path of least resistance for resisting temptation. And in this way, we can actually make indulgence in temptation less likely. The Bhagavad-gita says that yada samharate chayam kurmo angani sarvishaha indriyan indriyarthebhyas tasya pragya pratisthita. That just as a tortoise withdraws its limbs inside its body, like that the wise person withdraws the senses away from the sense objects. This can also mean that the wise person does not let the senses indiscriminately mix with the sense objects. Wise creates some barriers, some obstacles. So whatever be the temptation that we are trying to resist, we can try to create an obstacle between us and the temptation, and in that way the mind's laziness will work in saving us from the indulging in the temptation. And conversely, when we want to do some devotional activity, some positive activity, we need to make that activity as easily accessible as possible. If we decide I want to study scripture regularly, then scripture should be very easily accessible to us. We should carry it in our phone, we carry the book in our phone, it's a soft copy, or carry the book with us. Whatever positive thing we need to do, the more readily accessible we make to it, then the resistance will be much lesser. And in that way, the mind's laziness we can use in our spiritual growth. Thank you. Hare Krishna.